How you doing? Hey, nice tie. I like that.
You like that? Thank you.
Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, are you?
Oh, dude, yeah, Jesus. Well, 4 days of sleeping.
And relatives within it, as these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties natives have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly that our came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our traditional history, institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Apologies for these words, I cannot read very well right now. For what purposes do you seek the Center seek recognition?
I would like to motion to add Noah Birch and Walter Chulis to the swearing in new senators and associates.
Is it seconded?
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Yes, have it. We will now move the following parliamentarian. Please make the following change in the agenda to swearing in. One second. All right. With the following names, please come up in the front of the Senate chambers. Your name is
Let's see. Noah Birch,
Noah Birch.
Walter Tulis.
Sorry.
Walter Tulis.
Walter Tulis. Well, member of the Supreme Court, please administer the oath of office.
Will you all surround this microphone for me and speak into it? You're gonna repeat after me in unison. Okay? Okay. I state your name.
I, Noah Birch. I, Walter Tulis,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Oh. All right, with that, we will now begin our opening roll call. If you hear your name, please respond with present. As we begin our opening roll call, the clerk will call the roll.
Do we have a clerk today?
We do not. I do not believe. Well, I was told that the clerk was on Zoom.
The audio's not working, she says.
It is not working. I will administer the I will do the opening roll call since I have the list right here. Just give me a second, please. If you hear your name, please respond with I, as we are present as we begin the opening roll call. Associate Senator Tekeski. Senator Silverheart.
Present.
Chair Apey.
Here.
Senator Shepherd.
Present.
Senator Tefera. Officer Torres Doxey.
Present.
Senator Baum.
Present.
Speaker Pro Tempore Jenkins. Chair Welch.
Present.
Senator Deason.
Present.
Senator Nybert.
Present.
Parliamentarian Hunter.
Present. Present.
Senator Brown.
Present.
Speaker of the Senate Hill, present. Chair Ostrov,
Present.
Senator Scherer, Chair Ritter,
Present.
Senator Python,
Present.
Senator Moshe,
Present.
Senator May,
Present.
Senator Tennyson, Chair Morgan,
Present.
Senator Rosales Garcia, Senator Correa,
Present.
Senator Margaret,
Present.
Senator Quintana,
Here.
Senator Long, Senator Sandoval, Senator Mumford,
Present.
Associate Senator Reeves,
Present.
Associate Senator Davis, Senator Trout,
Present.
Senator Laffey,
Present.
Senator Kramer,
Present.
Senator Caraquero. If I'm sorry, saying that wrong, I apologize.
You're all good. I've gotten that my whole life. Present.
Sorry, would you mind stating your last name, please?
Yeah, anglicized, it's kerosene.
Caricida. Awesome, thank you. Senator Bilodeau,
Present.
and Senator Williamson. Okay. Is there any senator who I have not called upon? Yes,
Present.
Senator Tulis.
Yes.
Fine, thank you. And Senator Burge. Cool. All right, is there any other senators?
Speaker,
Oh, Senator Anthony.
yes, sir.
I also wanted to make sure that you got my name. I just said here through the chat.
Thank you. With that, we will now, sorry about that. Go back to the agenda.
Consent agenda.
We will now move into our consent agenda. We have a bill that was placed in our consent agenda. So if there is no dissent, this unanimous.
I
For
would
what
like to
purposes of
make,
recognition?
yes, I would like to make a motion to put BSOP and SFRB ratifications after gallery input.
Okay, I will entertain that motion after we pass consent agenda. So please remake that motion after we're done with that. Thank you. All right, is there any dissent to our consent agenda with the bill, the listed bill labeled? Chair Welch, for what purposes do you seek recognition?
I seek a point of information, like, could you explain to us what this means?
So, because this was not, I was not here last week, but so I believe that this was not passed under quorum.
It wasn't passed.
Chair Athy, recognize you for point of information.
Thank you, Speaker. So this resolution, we tabled both pieces of legislation last week to look at this week. And this resolution is under the consent agenda because it seems like there hasn't been a lot, like any discussion about it. It's been kind of like, great, let's pass that. And so being under the consent agenda means that like, we don't need to discuss it. We don't need to do anything else. It passes. It's done with. It's all good. That's the goal.
All right. So with this on the consent agenda, is there any dissent?
I dissent.
Okay, a dissent has been made. Therefore, parliamentarian, please remove the listed bill and put it in old business. All right, thank you. All right, with that gone, I have a point of information. Since the consent agenda is not approved, do we have to read, that means last week's was not approved, correct?
Well, we didn't even get to it, like, we didn't even discuss it, like, we literally did nothing, so that's why I had to send it, because I feel like this would kind of be a loophole if we didn't talk about it all.
Okay, thank you.
Technically, dissenting to the consent agenda as a whole also dissents to our minutes from last week. So can I amend your motion to just like move it out?
Yes, I'd like to amend my motion to just move resolution 5102, ranked choice voting to old business.
All right, that motion has been made. Is it seconded? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now move it into old business. Yes, for all purposes, you may say your motion.
Okay, I would like to motion to put BSOF and SFRB ratifications after gallery input.
A motion has been made to put BSOF and SFRB ratifications right after,
And BSOF,
and BSOF right after, sorry,
gallery input.
gallery input. This requires a 2/3 majority since this is a change in our agenda. So all in favor, because this is a 2/3,
Seconded.
it's been seconded. We will do this by placard vote. All four, please put your placards up high.
It's more than 2/3.
Okay. 1 sec. We'll finish the vote before we can make your plan information.
They can interrupt the motion.
Okay, what purpose is seek recognition?
This ratification, this is just purely swearing them in, correct? This is not going through the entire process, correct?
By the entire process, do you mean Q&A?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, please hold yours. I count them so we can put it on the record.
Your microphone.
Her. All opposed, please raise your placard. All abstaining, please raise your placard. On a vote of 22-2-0, motion passes. We will now move BSOF and SFRB elections ratifications to next on the agenda after gallery input. Oh, my apologies, on Zoom. On Zoom approved. On Zoom, if you could please raise your hand, virtual hand if you approve.
Two.
All against on Zoom, please raise your hand.
One against.
All abstaining, please raise your hand.
Well, that's all the voting members.
Okay, so parliamentarian, please amend 24-3-0. This motion still passes. Okay, and please make the change of putting BSOF and SFRB elections and ratifications right after gallery input. Okay. All right, we'll now move into our guest speakers. Is there any member who wishes to have a guest? Since I do not believe we have guest speakers, actually, we'll now skip guest speakers and we'll move to our gallery input. Is there any member in the gallery who wishes to speak? Parliamentarian, please send the mic, take the mic, give our gallery member the microphone.
Yes, okay, there it goes. Just making another announcement, another Coffee with the Courts is happening, Thursday, October 28th.
This is for gallery input only. Judicial reports will come later. This is only for members of the gallery.
Is it a judicial report?
Yeah, this is a judicial report. If you wouldn't mind handing your microphone to a member of the gallery and only in the gallery who's not a member of ASCSU or an officer in ASCSU, because technically everyone's a member of ASCSU. Yes.
Hi, y'all. Good evening. My name is Lindsay Mason. I serve as the Director of Off-Campus Life, and I'm just here to chat with you all today for a quick minute about some updates out of off-campus life. One, ASCSU so graciously last year gave us funding to fund a Good Neighbor program, or a program where we will set standards for property managers. And if they meet those standards, then we can essentially recommend them or guide students towards our more ethical property managers in town. We are hiring a position to run that program called the Property Manager Liaison, and we are doing phone interviews next week. So that process is moving forward, and I hope to have that person in sometime in November. So I'm excited about that program being able to come to fruition on our campus. I've really enjoyed working with Benton this year as your housing security specialist, doing some great work around how can we support students with more emergency housing or better utilize the housing stock that we have in town. So Benton and I are meeting regularly and moving forward on exploring some options, getting some guidance from folks around the nation. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. Ramride came back this year, y'all, with our night offs, which has been awesome. It's just as popular as ever. We're serving 500 to 600 people a night like we were before, and so definitely popular. Also, because of ASCSU's funding, we continue to support Ramride Secure. So for students that are experiencing some type of transportation insecurity, we're able to give them $200 in Lyft credit so that they can use that for their transportation needs. In addition, Ramride continues to operate food ops where we deliver food from the food bank. For this semester, we're going to be doing it from the mobile food bank once a month. The storage capacity of the temporary food bank downstairs makes it a little difficult to do weekly deliveries. But once the food bank, Rams Against Hunger food banks in its permanent location, we'll come back to our weekly deliveries. And we also continue to do our tried and true and effective programming. We brought back community welcome. Fall cleanup is happening. We've got about 2,000 volunteers that are going to be going out here in a few weeks. And we're prepping for our in-person housing fair, which I'm very excited to bring back. I know that's usually a really popular program with students. We're also doing a lot of hiring, just like a lot of folks across the campus. We're down to 33% staffing, so we are struggling for sure, but doing our best to really focus on what are our highest priorities, one of those being basic needs. So just trying to be focused and trying to be focused and hire. So I'm trying to hire. I think that's it. Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else? Yep. Tyler Geller.
Push up.
The mic is where it's dead. Battery is dead.
See.
So we actually had another purpose of why we brought you here, Miss Lindsay Mason, that we would like to be announced. Maybe you want to do the mic as well.
This is gonna be great. I love this. This is so awkward. Lindsay, I'm gonna look at you, kind of. So maybe some of you don't know, but there's an annual award that is given through ASCSU called the Mark Denke Award. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Mark. This dude was a CSU administrator for many, many years. He worked in the Vice President for Student Affairs office. He had some expertise around organizational behavior, performance change, research, that kind of thing. But he was the kind of person, is the kind of person who just brings life to a room. Like he loved students, he loved leadership. He would show up in spaces, be so enthusiastic, energetic, just a wonderful human being. He now works in Arizona, but every year an award is presented in his name. It's called the Mark Denke Award. And I think Hannah, who might be online, is going to announce who our selected person is, Hannah. So I'm going to just kick it to you, okay?
Hello. It's so interesting to see everyone in the chambers. And so can everyone hear me okay? Can someone give me a thumbs up? All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah Taylor. I was the ASCSU president last year, and I previously served as the ASCSU Deputy Director of Governmental Affairs. And I am so happy to be here and get to award Lindsay Mason with the Mark Denke Award that Noah and I selected her for. So I had the pleasure of working with Lindsay Mason during my time as Deputy Director of Governmental Affairs a few years ago, and then also as ASCSU President last year. And so I just wrote a few words about her to explain to you all why I gave her the award and why she should be celebrated for this. So when I received an email requesting our selection for the Denki Award towards the end of the year last year, I thought back to all of the presentations that I've observed for this award over the past couple of years. And I've learned that earning this award recognizes those in an advisory position that they're not only dedicated leaders themselves, but they're ones that contribute to the growth of others. This award is for those that have their heart in it for students at CSU and are committed to encouraging them and providing guidance as they go. This award is for those that will work so hard for the students that you can't help but feel inspired to keep going. As I reflected on this award and everything that I learned about the award and what it meant as I had seen the previous presentations, I immediately thought of mine and others' experiences working with Lindsay Mason. During my time working with Lindsay, I found that she is the type of advisor that will support you through giving you guidance, resources, and opportunities for collaboration, but will also empower students to take the lead. Lindsay is an advisor that genuinely cares about students' input being taken seriously. While I worked with her, she asked me several times for ways that she can get feedback from students and include students in the decision-making process. She really cares about student input. Every meeting that I had with Lindsay, I left knowing that her work is rooted in improving the experience of CSU students. Lindsay is an advisor that will work so hard for students that it'll inspire you. She has made continuous efforts to improve CSU students' lives, and based off of the report tonight, I hear that she's continuing to do so. Last year was crazy. It was an insane year, but Lindsay's dedication to helping students didn't stop through her work in providing additional transportation options for students and her work on housing initiatives to improve off-campus living. And in this work, Lindsay was always open for collaboration with ASCSU and was regularly including us in the discussion and valuing our input. For our projects, Lindsay was always there to tell us about her experience, what's been done so far, and the resources that are out there, but would always encourage and empower us to take the lead in our work. Great advisors are ones that students not only look up to, but ones that provide students with the same opportunity to push forward their goals and provide them with the confidence and resources they need to get it done. The students that work with Lindsay learn the importance of having an open mind, being open to feedback and using it as an opportunity for growth and working hard to get things done. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for all of the work you do for students. And thank you all so much for having me.
That was the plan. So this might have the wrong name on it, but we promise yours will have the right name.
Dr. Mike Ellis, look at me. Oh my God. Am I supposed to say something? I don't.
So we're gonna say a few words for you, and if you'd like to say something afterwards, I don't think anyone would be opposed.
So I want to start by saying, first of all, the line in the back, I mean, you all can share stories abundantly, I'm sure beyond what I can, but what I'd love to share, my first memory was serving as an SFRB liaison to Lindsay Mason's fee-funded area, their off-campus life, as you all know. And what I remember about those interactions, Lindsay, is if there's one way I would describe your posture and your demeanor in those meetings, you were a fierce advocate for every penny of student dollars that went to you, every single penny. Because you recognize that the dollars that are student fees are an investment and ultimately can go back and can have an impact on students. And when I think about you, Lindsay, that a couple of words that come to mind, you're a pace setter. You're a pace setter in the sense that, and I've heard you describe this and I've seen this in conversations, off-campus life at Colorado State University sets the example for the rest of the country. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it. And every meeting that I had over this last summer when I was doing that learning tour with city managers from around the country, 20 top college towns in the country, and they all brought up these ideas of we have a community welcome, we have some education on ordinances, and I couldn't help but think, I've been searching the country for best practices when it comes to student friendly, and it was right here the entire time. It was Lindsay Mason, it was off-campus life, and I realized that more and more. I think just the blessing that you are in the programs that you've overseen and the countless lives that you have indirectly saved, have directly saved with Ramblight, with Ramride, right? Giving students a safe way to get home is instrumental to this vision of protecting, serving, and supporting students. I think about just my hope for civic engagement for our generation, and you also exemplify that. This vision of student-friendly, you are the exemplar. You are the exemplar, you are that bridge, and students are aware of their community thanks to you. So Lindsay, thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done, and it's been an honor to work with you and to know you. And I'll pass it to Benji.
Yeah, I just have a few quick words. So when I started this job over the summer, I really had no idea what exactly I was getting into. A new role in student government that was just created, new job description and everything. And I was kind of clueless when I got here. And then I got an email from somebody, that somebody was Lindsay Mason, and she said, you know, I was the advisor for governmental affairs last year, and I think I might be your advisor this year. And after our first meeting, I was so thankful that I was reached out to by Lindsay Mason to be my advisor, because I was floored by the amount of work that off-campus life puts in constantly, the amount of compassion you have and consideration you have for students so heavily. I mean, you devote all of this time to students. They're at 33% capacity, and it feels like they're at 100% capacity, and you're looking why. You see why right here. Lindsay Mason is a powerhouse. Whenever I bring an idea to her, she knows exactly where to go, who to talk to, and what I need to do to make something happen, or if it's not going to be possible, and she'll tell me that very clearly. I appreciate the work you do endlessly. You have educated me every single time we talk. I learn something new, and I learn a new avenue I can take to support students in any way I can. And I just appreciate that endlessly. And I appreciate off-campus life endlessly and everything that y'all do. We are so lucky to have an off-campus life office that does the work that they do, and to have Lindsay Mason as our director of off-campus life and the work that she does. And so once again, thank you so much for everything you do for the students, everything you do for this university. And you put in equity at the front of all of your work, because I know you do, and I appreciate that endlessly.
I'm gonna keep losing it. Just what a privilege it is to get to do the work that I get to do, and to have the support of student government. We partner in so much, to have support from my team, to have my previous director with me that taught me so much, and just my husband, and just, oh my gosh, y'all, just thank you. This is just thank you. What an honor and a privilege. Thank you. Oh, great.
Congratulations. All right. We'll allow some more members of the gallery. If anyone wants to say a few things, we'll now allow 5 minutes for each person in the gallery who wishes to speak. If there's no other member in the gallery, we'll now move to our next item on the agenda. Ratification and election of officers, starting with the student SFRB, Student Fee Review Board. Vice President Geprasadik,
Yes.
please present your nominations. Thank you.
One second. Okay, so we'll start with Stephen Laffey, who's right over here. He's a first-year student studying economics, also part of the Dean's Leadership Council for College of Liberal Arts, a senator for the College of Liberal Arts, and also wants to learn more about student fees and budgets, and also serves on the 4-H leadership for Larimer County that manages roughly $26,000.
I don't believe so.
And I thought sort of if y'all want to hear anything, I'll leave that to Q&A.
I will leave 10 minutes to present for each candidate, starting with Senator Laffey.
Oh, we're,
Okay,
thank you.
I'll allow,
Point of order, if this isn't on a slate, then one person now leaves.
Oh, can I motion to put SFRB members on a slate for ratification?
Seconded.
all right, a motion has been made to put SFRB members on the slate and has been seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Guys have it. We'll now be putting members on SFRB on a slate. So, and just for some context, if any of those who do not know what being put on a slate is, for any of our new senators and associate senators, being on a slate just means that all the nominees will present all at once. We ask everyone queue down at once, and then when we vote for all of them at once. And and keep in mind though, we can take a candidate off the slate if we want to vote on them separately or individually. This process is usually quicker than going through each individual candidate at a time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Then second, we have Uriel Diaz, who is a junior studying psychology with minors in Spanish and business. Does volunteer work with El Centro, specifically La Conexión. Works with Rams Against Hunger. Currently serves as the ASCSU accountant. So he has a lot of knowledge about finance, budgets, and also wants more of a say in student fees while advocating for students. And that's it for our members.
All right, I'll now allow 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placard. Are we continuing with 10 minutes of presentation?
No, we're good.
It'd be 20 minutes though, because there's. All right, it'd be 20 minutes though, because there's two people spinning.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We've done.
I believe they're done presenting. Okay. Okay, we will now move into 20 minutes of Q&A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 10 for each candidate and then 10 for your candidate, starting with the first placard.
Senator Sandoval.
Senator Sandoval.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted a point of clarification. If we are already part of SFRB, are we still able to vote for them or do we have to abstain?
You're able to vote.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then my question is, what do you hope to gain by being part of SFRB, whether that be knowledge, skill, etc.?
So the question was, what will we hope to gain, especially via knowledge and skill?
Yes. So what do you hope to gain from being on SFRB?
I see. So personally, I hope to gain a further understanding of how fees are allocated, and secondarily, just experience in budgeting in this manner. I already have a bit of experience, as was noted. I've been experienced also in accounting through other activities. But I really hope to just gain service experience and help provide a means for our constituents or peers really to be represented in how their fees are allocated. And I really relish that opportunity to grow in service, providing CSU students with that pathway to representation. And also, I simply also relish the opportunity to just understand, in particular, of how all fees are allocated.
I think I just want to gain more general knowledge on the whole process and where our student fees go. I have been working for ASCSU since the spring and learning on the daily, but I didn't really learn anything about SFRB. So just getting that general knowledge will help me as an accountant for ASCSU and help me just know where our funds are going, and that way I could help others be heard and not just ASCSU members.
Thank you. I yield.
All right, Charity.
Oh, kind of before I go, I think that Chair Walsh raised his hand first.
Oh, sorry, I was the chair in the city. Okay.
Okay. How do you plan to uphold the university and ASCSU initiatives of diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I hope to just listen to everyone, and I just want everyone to be heard. Really, anything that working as a minority at ASCSU, it really does like help to hear everyone else's voice, and I want everyone else's voice to be heard just as mine is being heard here tonight. If I can just help one person, it'll help a lot of other students.
Yeah, and I'll also add that in my interview with Yuri, he also emphasized how he wants to make sure that those who don't really have this platform to be able to speak up for other students, he wants to be that advocate and he wants to be that voice for students. And he wants to do that by encompassing all identities within this board. So that's just some takeaway from the interview as well.
So I in particular would ensure that a variety and a large diversity of voices are being heard within the Student Review Board and communicated to members, such as myself and others, so that we understand what all of the constituency really wants from the Student Review Board and how they want their fees to be allocated. In particular, not just ethnic and racial minorities, but also off-campus students of minority. I've spoken with students who deal with things such as the Ram Ride in particular, and how they want those fees to be allocated. That's not something I individually experience, but it's something that I know many students do experience. We need to properly represent their views on how those fees are allocated, and simply very many applications of that in general areas. Not just Ram Ride specifically.
Are you done? Sorry, just want to make sure I'm not interrupting.
Yes, I am done.
Well, thank you. Does your job represent all identities, not just those that you hold? How do you intend to ensure that you're doing this?
Well, I would do so similarly through interviewing and just speaking with students of diverse backgrounds on campus to ensure that they are being properly represented. Similarly to how I said before, and of course, the Student Review Board already has people of very diverse backgrounds. Perhaps they don't represent all students, and that's why we would need to ensure constituency input. Does that answer your question?
Working with Rams Against Hunger has given me a lot of perspective and a lot of different experiences, being able to see a lot of different backgrounds. So being able to communicate with them directly has helped me understand their situations. So just generally just asking people and finding out what they want from their student fees, I think is the best way to incorporate it.
Last question. How are you going to recognize your inherent biases?
Sorry, could you ask that again?
How are you going to recognize your inherent biases?
As I said, like working with just a large amount of other groups will help me understand them and I guess sorry, I don't know how to answer that question. My best way is to just communicate with people. That's what I do best, is to talk to people directly and hope to come to an understanding and help them as best as I can.
I would ensure that myself and other members, or attempt to ensure that myself and the other members of the Student Review Board are speaking to members of diverse backgrounds from CSU, and also organizations themselves. That's probably a very good way to communicate what different communities that have combined into an organization once as a whole.
With that, the other Senator Burge, I recognize you for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
So a question for both of you. In terms of, your first steps on the student fee review board, what are what would be your first top priority for student funding on campus? How does that benefit all students at CSU?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
What is your top priority for funds at CSU for student fees, and how does that help benefit all students at CSU?
Okay. Sorry, before they answer the question, I'll give a little bit of clarification about Student Fee Review Board. So for Student Fee Review Board, all of the fee areas are already decided. So we have 19 of those fee areas, just a preface.
I see. Well, personally, my first objective would actually be to ensure that I entirely understand how all of those fees are being allocated. And really, that's how Student Fee Review Board is set up. To my understanding, the first semester it consists of members of the board touring the various facilities that we fund and the other organizations that we fund directly, and ensuring that, for example, as a member not ratified of the board, I and all the other members of the board went into the rec center and aspects of the athletics department. And we saw the internal affairs of how how those fees are being allocated. And for me, my first priority, as I said, would simply be learning more about how those fees are allocated so that in the future I can properly represent and really just understand what's going on.
My first goal would be to just set some transparency. As a student coming into SFRB, I don't really know a lot about SFRB and where our student fees are going. So I would like to see our budget and make sure that everything is well fair for everyone and not just the dominant student here at CSU. So yeah, I think that's where I would start. It's just transparency.
Awesome, thank you. I yield my time. All right, yeah, gentlemen's field is time. Is there any other Senator, Associate Senator wishing to speak or ask a question? Seeing none.
Sammy Trout.
Senator Trout.
Thank you. You guys can hear me all right? Beautiful. All right. Here, let me get my camera on really quick. There you go. All right. So I'm going to ask the same questions that I asked last time, or at least try to. So with the both of you, what communities on CSU do you feel you could represent the best to your ability, if that makes sense?
I am the first in my family to be born in the United States and the first traditional college student. My mom did graduate, but I'm the first to go to traditional college and be a four-year student. So I think the community that I best represent is the Latinx community. And I believe that I could also be a representative for those first year or first generation students.
Point of information from the Supreme Court. I just want to ensure that we're keeping in mind our Office of Equal Opportunity appropriate and inappropriate questions. We can't ask candidates about their specific protected identities or statuses. This question didn't specifically ask about that, but candidates, please know you do not need to disclose that information. And I apologize for not chiming in earlier.
My apologies for not recognizing that. I let that slide because it didn't explicitly state as Deputy Justice Boyenko stated, but I think that will, but you do not have to release any identifications or any.
My apologies. This is something that you are that you are comfortable expressing. Is my puzzle. My apologies if that did not come out as clear as I intended. But so then I will move on to my second question. What groups on CSU do you feel aren't as represented just in general, not necessarily on Student Fee Review Board, but just in general?
I wouldn't call myself knowledgeable enough in that field to really make a statement whatsoever. as with regards to what groups or individuals on campus are not being properly represented. I would say that's something that we definitely need to look into, is if any one group is not being represented. But certainly that's not something I can speak on at this time. I simply don't know enough to provide an eligible opinion.
I'm on the same page. If there was one that I could point out, it would be adult learners or non-traditional students. Yes, there's sources for them, but I definitely think we can do better.
All right, thank you guys. Excited. All right, I yield my time, speaker.
Okay. Senator has yielded his time, so we will now move to the next senator who wishes to ask Kine. Any person on Zoom or on ballot? Seeing none, I will now move. I will now end Q&A. We will now move into 30 minutes of discussion and debate on candidates. All candidates, please leave the room as we begin 30 minutes of discussion and debate, starting with the first placard. Each senator and associate senator will have 5 minutes for the first time. And then once everyone has stated their what they want to say, then we move to a secondary speakers list, which allows people who have already spoken to speak again, but for 3 minutes. Starting with the first placard. Terry.
Seeing no discussion, can I put the next question and then secondarily motion for unanimous consent?
Okay, a motion has been made for previous question. All in favor, please, is there seconded?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Please say your second motion.
Motion for unanimous consent to pass these candidates.
Without objection, candidates are ratified on a vote of unanimously. All right, please bring our candidates back in. We can Senator Laffey and Mr. Diaz, on a vote of 28-0, you have now been ratified as our new SFRB members. Congratulations. Will members of the Supreme Court please administer the oath of office to the new candidates for the Student Fee Review Board.
So y'all are gonna speak into this mic and then you repeat after me and. I state your name.
I, Stephen Laffey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right. With that, we will now move to our VSOF elections. Right. Ratifications.
All right.
Before you go, are you going to put the everyone in there? So just like you talked about?
I'm going to do my at-large members first. Perfect. So I have, Treasurer, you're good. I'm gonna do you as senators next. Or point of information. Is it okay if I do everyone at once, including senators? Fantastic. All right, so I will be ratifying my VSOF board today. I have 4 at-large members and 5 senators.
I'm sorry, I would like to hand the chair over to Parliamentarian Jackson, as I will now be a candidate for VSOF.
Fantastic.
All right, I will be presenting my BSOP board today. I'll start with my 4 at-large members. Nicholas DeSalvo is a freshman. He is studying political science. He's in the honors program. A fun fact about Nick is he actually ran for city council, which is really interesting. Youngest person in his town to ever do so. I think that's really impressive. And what I really just found fascinating about him is just his desire to get more involved in ASCSU and learn. And so I think he would be a very valuable member of BSOP. I also have Grace Newman here. She is a sophomore business student. She also has a minor in legal studies. Grace has a really strong GPA, strong student leader. And again, she's also really looking to get more involved in ASCSU. This is her first involvement with ASCSU. And I think she's really excited to get involved and learn more about student orgs and how ASCSU can support them. I also have 2 at-large members who are joining us on Zoom. I have Jillian Cook. Jillian is a junior political science student. She has a minor in legal studies. She is interested in, oh, sorry, I mixed up my people. So Jillian is actually a freshman. She's undeclared, and she is interested in studying data science and economics. She was involved in student government in high school. And again, she's someone who's looking to get involved in ASCSU. Really excited to hit the ground running as a freshman. In addition to that, I have Sydney Ziegler. She has experience at being a treasurer at her high school. In addition, she is a transfer from the University of Oregon. She has a lot of experience with budgets as she was governor for her dorm hall. And so I think all 4 of these at-large members will really bring some new perspectives to BSOP, and I'm really excited to have them. But in addition, I also have our Senate members today. So I have let's see, I have everyone. Good. So I have Senator Samantha May, I have Senator Brandon Baum, Officer Torres Doxley, Speaker Hill, and Chair Treasurer Morgan. They're all really excited to serve as their Senate representatives on BSOP. And again, I'm really thankful because I had to send a lot of emails. I had to do a lot of begging to get this board filled for Senate. And so they've really just shown commitment to making sure our student organizations are supported through BSOP. They bring a lot of different experiences, have a great record in Senate. And so I am just thrilled to have the opportunity to work with them on a greater capacity. So these are my members today. Point of information, can I motion to put them on a slate at this time? Okay, motion to put these members on a slate.
Seconded.
All for putting these candidates on a slate? All against?
Aye.
Thank you. With that, the motion passes.
Point of information from the Supreme Court, the Constitution says that in section 103C1, senators and associates may serve as the chair of a committee or in additional leadership roles within Senate, excluding the Speaker of Senate, Speaker Pro Tem, or Parliamentarian. It is up to the discretion of the Senate to decide whether this is a leadership position within Senate when considering the Speaker of the Senate for this position.
Nick, I withdraw.
Thank you.
Well, actually.
Chair recognizes Chair Welch.
So, Emily, do you have a vice chair?
We have not elected one yet.
Okay, so I think that this is fine, just call you, Speaker Hill, you can't run for the vice chair. So I think you can be a member, but you can't run for any higher position than that. I yield my time.
I withdraw my withdrawal.
Chair Avey.
Sorry, I also have a point of information. So in the BSOP bylaws, because the BSOP section of the Constitution is really bare bones, but in the BSOP bylaws, it states 5 ASCSU members drawn from the ranks of senators, associate senators, Senate officers, and judicial members, which implies, I mean, obviously I can't rewrite what the court says, but that implies that anyone in Senate and Senate officers are included in that.
Point of information, the bylaws may say that the Speaker of Senate can, but the Constitution overrules the bylaws.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't trying
again,
to overrule it. I was just trying to add supplementary.
absolutely, and again, it's up to the discretion of the Senate, and nothing can be done about this unless an opinion is requested. Just putting it on radars.
Let's see, I can open it for discussion and debate. Is there any opposition to allowing Speaker Hill on this board?
Constitution says it, then I do.
All right, I'll open 10. Oh, Chair Osa.
I don't know if it's like I don't know what my point is, but would we feel more comfortable having this conversation with like the candidate outside the room rather than them being in the room? If we should allow this or not?
So I think right now it's just procedural. It's not
Okay.
necessarily about the candidate's qualifications.
Okay.
Chair Athy.
Sorry, I also have another point of information. Does this apply to also Officer Torres Doxy and Chair Treasurer Morgan? Not just Speaker Hill?
Chair Welch.
I don't think it does. Well, yeah, so I don't think that it does, just said those three. Also, my concern would be if the speaker can't attend this board, then is he allowed to be on the LSAB and can he come to my committee? Like that's just my one concern. Because neither one of those are leadership. He just is attending. I feel like this is the same way. He's attending to do his voice. If he did try to become vice chair, that's when I would draw a line and be like, no, you can't do that. That's unconstitutional. But I think what's happening right now is constitutional because I think that if he's unable to be here, I want to do opinion, I don't think they'll be able to be an LSAB either. I yield my time.
Awesome. So I just want to say we did an open discussion and debate, so let's keep comments super short right now. Chair Osterhout.
Can I motion to open a discussion debate?
Yes, again. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Awesome. All for opening discussion and debate, 10 minutes. Good. All against? Awesome. We'll now open 10 minutes of discussion and debate. First raised placard, Chair Osterhout.
Thank you, Mr. Acting as Senate Speaker. I don't know. I feel like if the Constitution says so, maybe we should not. And I recognize that. I think attending and being a member of something is completely different because BSOP and everything is open to the public and all of us, even if we're not voting members, are welcome to come. But I think if the speaker is a voting member, I might rethink us allowing it to be there. But he can still attend. We all can still attend without being voting members. That's my little 2 cents. I heard my time.
Can I respond to Lizzie quickly like this? Is it fine?
So I'll add you to the speakers list
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
Point of information.
Yeah. Senator Silverheart.
How many senators are required to be on ESOP?
5 senators are required to be on BSOF. I will say, if you do make the decision that you do want to make BSOF a leadership role, someone has to replace Kyle. Someone has to replace the chairs. Someone has to replace Officer Torres Doxley. And the thing is, I know y'all are spread really thin. I also want to provide some context that Senate leadership has been in BSOF historically. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. If you decide to make BSOF a leadership position, I'm going to have 3 new senators join, and that delays student orgs getting funding. So I just want that to be kept in mind.
All right, next on our speakers list is Senator Python.
Thank you. Can I actually ask the Supreme Court a question here, or do I have to wait?
You can yield to the Deputy Justice.
Deputy Justice, just a quick question. As far as the Mr. Orthodoxy, and I forgot your position offhand, apologies, officer. And then the chairs, what is constitutional in that?
I can only quote the Constitution. I can offer an opinion if an opinion is requested, not go through formal documentation, but I can say Section 103, membership clause of the Constitution, C1, says senators or associates may serve as a chair of a committee or in an additional leadership role within Senate, excluding Speaker of Senate, Speaker pro tempore, and parliamentarian. We cannot serve in more than one of these capacities. There could be an argument that Officer Torres Doxy will be serving in multiple leadership positions. It's up to y'all's discretion at this point, whether be a Senate liaison for BSOF is a leadership position within the Senate.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Next on our speaking list is Chair Amy.
Thank you. Okay, so in the Constitution, Section 604, Special Finance Committees. The Board of Student Organizational Funding shall be considered a special committee and defined under Article 9. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll back up. Special committees, okay, the articles are different. Okay, fine. Special committees. Special committees shall not be bodies of any part of any, shall be bodies not a part of any ASCSU branch. BSOC is not a part of Senate, like listed under there. So, thank you.
Chair Welch.
So what I want to bring up is kind of a baby set. I feel like this is more about other stuff, whereas like this in LSAT, which was created 3 years ago, their bylaws, so in their bylaws, they did the Senate, the Speaker of the Senate or any other member of the Senate leadership can become a voting member. And my concern is like, and that means any member wouldn't be able to vote for LSAP. So if we do this, we're gonna have to go for LSAP as well, I believe. But I don't believe we have to, because I think that this doesn't count. Like this is more of Kyle Hill and Officer Doxy. They cannot become my vice chairs. They cannot become Anthony's vice chair, and they cannot become Ozerhout's vice chair. This is more just saying that we can't have people in leadership also be a vice chair of one of our committees. I think that's more what it's trying to prevent. It's not trying to prevent BSAB or LSAB. Let me give that.
Next on our list is Senator Correa.
Real quick, I have a question for Supreme Court justices. You said that if the Senate is okay with that, then it's not unconstitutional, right? So then can I motion to open a vote on it so that if the Senate's okay, we don't have to discuss and debate anymore?
Seconded.
Yeah. Awesome. All for opening for a vote.
Aye.
All against. All right. It'll be a placard vote, so everyone please raise your placard.
Raise your placard if what?
Yeah, sorry. So sorry. Yeah, we're voting. If you vote for, you're voting to allow Speaker Hill to serve on this board. And yes, and Officer Torres Doxy. Vote against would mean that you would say this is unconstitutional. Yes, so right now we're voting if you want to allow Speaker Hill or Officer Torres Doxy on this board. All right. All against?
Real quick point of information, I think, just don't forget those of us on Zoom. That's it.
And then all abstentions. All right, this motion, this vote passes. So they will be allowed to serve on this board. Seeing that, we still have Q&A happening. Shall we continue the speakers list? Unless there's any motions. Okay, continuing on the speakers list, are there any more for the primary speakers list? Chair Athey.
Just to clarify, we're going back to Q&A now, correct?
Sorry, what was that?
Just clarify, we're going back to Q&A now.
We haven't ended discussion and debate.
Sorry, I'm very
Can I make a motion to end
Sorry.
discussion debate?
Yeah.
Okay, motion to end discussion debate.
Awesome. Thank you, all for.
Aye.
All against. Sweet. Okay, we will now continue with Q&A. Yep, there will be 10 minutes for Q&A. Chair Athey.
Okay, now we're asking questions.
Yes,
Cool.
sorry about that.
Okay. Also, there are a lot of you, so please feel free to sit when it's not your turn, or even when it is your turn, if we can somehow figure out how to do mics, because yeah, sitting. How do you plan to uphold the university and ASU's initiatives of diversity, equity, and inclusion?
So, Brandon Baum, PA on this. I plan to uphold diversity, equity, and inclusion. Is that correct? Thank you. So, me personally, I came from a very diverse family, and I also grew up in very diverse backgrounds. I myself am a mixed race person, so I have a very unique perspective in terms of this, in terms of diversity and inclusion. I also grew up as a person with, I try to be at least with unwavering morals and principles. I believe that person should not be judged on anything except the integrity of their actions and the heart of their character. So that's how I plan to be as equity, fair, and inclusion.
Thank you for that question, Chair Athey. As someone who's a constituent, of 3 SDPS offices of the Pride Center, someone in Student Disability Center and El Centro, I believe that I understand, as someone from diverse backgrounds, I have an appreciation for people who are marginalized identities, and I can understand what they can go, what some can go through, but I cannot understand everything. I know that I think one of the biggest things is to listen to other people's perspectives, and to listen to what other people has to say, and just be a listener. And, and I recognize in the past that as someone who does like to talk, one of my faults in the past was not listening, but I feel like that as being a speaker, I've improved my listening skills, and I believe that listening becomes a big part in acknowledging our inherent biases and listening to others with diverse backgrounds and being able to ask their input. What can I do for you? How can I help, and how can I serve what do you need? And so based on that, I can, and essentially, every member, I will not discriminate on any member. I will not look at any particular member differently, just because, no matter of what marginalized identities or any identities that he or she or they may hold. And I want to make sure that I uplift that in this role, and that in pertaining to this position directly as a BSOF member, that my decisions or for my vote will be inherently non-biased when it comes to people of diverse backgrounds. And I will be strict on the agenda of how to uphold different people's identities. That answers your question.
I think that educating myself on what other people in other communities think and need is really important. And on this board, we look at student organizations from every part of campus. And so I think it's important to recognize that each one is different and has different needs, and that being able to listen to them and ask them questions that really get to the heart of what they're looking for and what sort of things that they feel they need on campus, and where we are sort of lacking and what we can do to step in and provide the funding. Like some of the things that we can fund are like events and things like that, where we can reach out to different members of the community and offer them a way to be educated and to share their voices when they may not feel heard. And so I think that it's important to look to what they need, each community needs, and what they are looking for to make sure that we can represent each of them well.
Yeah, just making sure that I listen to and do my own research on what other communities within CSU need, and making sure I ask different diverse communities what they need. I think a big part of this is I hold a lot of identities, but at the same time, I don't hold every identity, so I need to make sure that I can best represent and listen to other identities on campus, because it's a huge part of diversity and inclusion, and attend trainings, and yeah, just stuff like that to make sure that I can listen to identities that are not my own.
Thank you for the question. Nick DeSalvo. A little bit of background on me. I grew up very, very poor, and I'm here at CSU on a lot of financial aid. So I know what it's like to not fit the typical mold of a college student and be of a background that is atypical, especially in a college campus. In regard to student organization funding, I quickly learned that it's not what about the organization is doing, it's what they're using the money for. And so with that in mind, whether I agree with the organization's purpose or not, it's about what they're doing, the event they're putting on, and where that money's going. So with that in mind, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to be fair and equitable to each organization requesting funding.
Hi everyone, I'm Treasure Morgan, she or hers. And just due to my diverse background, like I have experienced non-diverse and non-inclusive environments, spaces, people, organizations. And because of that, I have learned how to contribute to a welcoming environment, as well as being someone who people can come up to and feel comfortable enough voicing their concerns, you know, even if I have to be a voice for them because they are ignored. In terms of DEI, I try to look at everything, contribute to the space through a DEI lens. And then just to repeat what has been said, like I am always opening to learning about different people's background, even just listening, like that makes a big impact on people who feel like they're always ignored. And I'm always willing to change. So, you know, if I say something, if I do something that impacts you, feel free to come up to me. Like I'm always learning how to become a better person. Thank you.
I'm Grace Newman. I'm prepared to keep my vote as unbiased as possible by recognizing my own privilege and my own bias and being open to education through that so that I can represent the student body as a whole instead of just focusing on my desires and focusing on the events that not what they're putting on. So.
Wonderful. We have 2 candidates on Zoom. Jillian, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Hi, everyone. I'm Jillian Cook. I use she, her. I'm a first year.
Jillian, it looks like we lost you. Sydney, do you want to go while we figure out what's happening with Jillian?
Sure, yeah, of course. My name's Sydney. I am a junior. I use she, her, hers. I cannot like understand the like biases put on minorities, but I can learn and I can respect. I'm always learning. I'm constantly learning and putting my own biases aside and understanding when those are wrong. And I would like to continue to do that.
Thanks, Sydney. Jillian, do we have you back? Maybe not. Do we want to go to next questions and then when she rejoins?
I'll be honest, all of those answers kind of morphed into answering all 3 of my questions. So after Jillian, I yield my turn, but we can move on and come back.
Let me text.
Awesome. Thank you. Are there any more questions? Seeing none. Thank you, candidates. We can
her computer crashed, it's restarting.
Okay.
How do you have her phone number? Yeah, I do. Can we call her?
Do we want a motion for a 5-minute recess? All right.
Motion for a 5-minute recess.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Okay.
Sweet. All for motion for 5-minute recess.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, she's back.
Okay. All against.
Motion again.
All right. All right. With that, we'll enter 5-minute recess. Yes. Awesome. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I like
Unfortunate
that.
timing. Everyone, please be back in your seats at 7:56. 7:56.
I put the appropriate questions.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
No, you're
Such a mess right there.
At the very top of the first page, under also like that.
Oh, okay. I just usually mute it during.
Hey, Mr. Temporary Speaker, don't forget to unmute the owl. I can't hear anything.
Thank you.
Happy to be a pain in your butt. I mean, happy to help.
When back to your seats. All right, sweet. Yeah, let's see. All right, everyone please head back to your seats. All right. Are there any more questions for the candidates?
Can we have Jillian address the?
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
I restate it for you? Just like,
That would actually,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Cool. How do you plan to uphold the university? Oh, yeah, we should. Okay.
Chair AP.
How do you plan to uphold the university and ASCSU initiatives of diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Hi again. Sorry about earlier. Like I said, my name is Jillian Cook. I think it's important to recognize at a school like CSU that has almost 30,000 students that there's almost every type of voice, every type of student, and therefore every type of student organization. So to know that I personally am really looking at them with a totally unbiased opinion. And when they walk into a room and they present to us that our attitude towards them is completely unbiased and the decisions are being made only based on what is presented to us in their budget.
Thank you. I yield my time.
Speaker has yielded their time. Are there any more questions? All right, seeing none, we will now end Q&A. If the candidates will leave the room, please, we will end 30 minutes of discussion and debate. I apologize. Senator Sandoval, do you have a motion or question?
I have a motion. I would like to motion for unanimous consent.
Okay, there's been a motion for unanimous consent. Is there a second?
Second.
We're still in discussion and debate.
You have to move, we have to move the previous question
Yeah.
first.
Is there a motion for previous question?
Motion for previous.
Motion for previous question.
Is there a second?
Second.
All for moving to previous question?
Aye.
All against? And all abstentions? All right, we will now move to previous question. There has also been a motion for unanimous consent. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, okay. All four. Yeah. All right. Seeing as these candidates have been approved by unanimous consent, they can all come back in. All right, candidates in a motion of unanimous consent, you have all been approved. I'm now going to hand the chair back over.
Hello again. Hello, everybody. I'm back. All right, we will now move to 10 minutes of executive report, starting with President Dixon. Please keep side conversations to a minimum. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? My name is Carter. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm the chief of staff, and I am here to remind/invite everyone next week on October 20th. There's going to be a training in cabinet from 5 to 6:15, possibly 6:30, by Emily Ambrose that talks about microaggressions and like white supremacy and all of those things and how we can dismantle them. You are all formally invited by me. On Monday in the weekly email, there will be a article sent out that we're going to talk about in the training. So y'all can read that. And then if you want to come, let me know. Y'all are very, very invited. And that is all. If you would like to send me, if you like think of it and you send me a little email that's like, I would like to attend and I'll be there. I'll make sure that there's enough chairs in the room for like everyone to be accommodated so that we can all participate in that. Okay, thanks everyone. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I got you. Bye.
All right, hello everyone. So upcoming on October 25th, from 6 to 8 p.m., City of Fort Collins is having a land use code discussion. Who gets excited about land use code? Right? There we go, Alex. So land use code is incredibly important. I know it doesn't sound very easy at first, but it impacts basically everything about environmentalism, about housing affordability, U+2, tiny homes, water restoration, parks, housing security. I mean, all of those topics are integral to land use code. And for those of you that know policymaking, you're in a body of policymaking right now. Policy creates, it creates substance, it creates programs, it creates initiatives, and it creates permanent change. And so that's why I would encourage you all to attend if you get a chance, October 24th, 6 to 8 p.m. I'll find a location for that, but what I will say is they're giving $40 gift cards to King Supers if you go. I know, another value add. So be there October 25th. Come find me if you have more questions, but I'd love for you to join us. I've been talking with Devin Duran from Parking and Transportation. It was amazing, by the way, if you haven't met Devin. I called her last week to mention some of the conversations I've been having with a student with a disability who is passionate about accessibility on campus. I called her to let her know, and then I called yesterday and said, hey, the specific ask is for 2 parking spots west of Engineering Hall in Academic Village. And she called me back the next day and had already blocked the spot, had ensured that it was up to code, and is going to kickstart it. So we're hoping to get 2 spots in there within the next couple of weeks, directly from that student request. And I meet with that student weekly to discuss accessibility issues and concerns and opportunities as well. And so one part of that is for the button project that has been mentioned in years past, the tall panels for accessible buttons as opposed to the boxes are way better from the stories that I've heard and the lived experience that I've heard from folks. And so we're going to be pushing the university to hopefully do that campus wide. That will hopefully be our one proposal to University Facility Fee Advisory Board and to the university, because that's the one condition that they need in order to fund something, is they need to know it will impact all students equally right across the campus, all buildings equally, without giving preference to one versus the other. And so a universal proposal typically gets more of the $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 funding requests. Those are usually filled if it has that condition. So that's something we're working on. On Friday from 4 to 5:30, how many of you all have heard of Natasha Bowens Blair? Does that name ring a bell? Amazing. Yeah, no, she's the author of Color of Food, which is a story of multiculturalism in the context of agriculture. I'm just breaking into it, but I mean, a brilliant read from what I've heard from folks, and the field is an emerging conversation, and she'll be bringing that to CSU on Friday, 45:30. And there's also an event, I don't have it on me now, but there's also a panel. Is that tomorrow? That's tomorrow at 2 p.m. With some leaders from the Land Back Hughes group. So if you have interest in sitting in on that, Natasha will be facilitating that as well, right? Tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Grand Ballroom. Grand Ballroom? Is that right? Yep, Mary knows the details, as you can see. But definitely go to that if you get a chance. I'll be there for the second half of that one. I spoke with Emily Gorgel today. She's the Mayor Pro Tempore for City of Fort Collins and City Council District 6, and is also instrumental in our goals for U+2. And we talked about U+2, civic engagement, zero-scaping, which for those of you that don't know is when you replace invasive species like Kentucky bluegrass with native grasses and with rocks. It's a switch in mindset and in policy and in zoning that allows you to do that. And so one thing we're talking about is building subsidies for homes and homeowners that want to install zero-scaping and take out some of the invasive species that are, I guess, covering land across the city. That also ties to land use code if you all have interest. We talked about accessory dwelling units. Anyone interested in that topic or heard about that? It's basically a solution for tiny homes. So if you've seen that tiny home that's over by Richardson Design Center, that's designed by Idea 450, it's a class that's offered here at CSU. We want to bring more of those to the city for Collins, but that's not allowed right now under the land use code. So that's going to be my #1 recommendation on October 25th, if you can join us. And then the sign design, every time that we lose a student, the flag west of the LSC flies for 3 days at half staff. And then we fold it and deliver it to the family along with a letter that I write to the family. And one way that we want to recognize that tradition is by having a sign that describes exactly what I just told you. Because a lot of students aren't aware when they walk by that flag at half staff that we've lost one of our own. And so if you have interest in designing that sign, the content of it, what imagery will be incorporated into it, what I'll mention now is there will be raised braille lettering on that sign, but we're still navigating the content of it. So let me know if you have interest in that. And I think that's almost at pickleball as well. How many of you all played pickleball before? It's amazing. They're hoping to turn one of the tennis courts at the tennis complex into a CSU pickleball court, into 2 pickleball courts. I spoke with Cody Fry from Rec Center about that, and they're excited about the possibilities. So I'll keep you all posted. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other member from the executive branch wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move to our judicial reports. Chief Justice Freeman. And Associate Justice Truxell.
There you go, just the face. Yeah. There you go.
Back again. Just a reminder, copy with the courts. Yeah, 2 weeks, October 28th, 9 through 12 a.m. If you missed it last time, you missed out. All right, that's all I'm saying. So yield my time to Chief Justice Freeman. Thank you.
Recognize Chief Justice Freeman for 10 minutes.
Okie dokie. Just a reminder about RAM recognition cards. We are attempting to have everyone in ASCSU receive one. So if you haven't written one, please do. Also, we have an opinion rendering tonight. It's opinion 5102. It's clarification of the constitutionality of a judicial legislative branch official serving in the position of an executive intern, and the constitutionality of requiring an intern to go through the Senate ratification process. So the Director of Academics, Brandon Lowry, requested an opinion regarding Article 1, Section 103C, and Article 1, Section 107A of the ASCSU Constitution. The following questions were submitted. Does the Constitution allow for a member of the judicial or legislative branch to serve as an executive intern? Along with, do executive interns need to be ratified by Senate? So the Supreme Court has determined the following. As Article 1, Section 103 states, no member of ASCSU shall hold a position in more than one of 3 branches, executive, judicial, legislative, of ASCSU, except those serving in ex officio status. Members of one branch may not serve as an intern of another branch unless serving in ex officio status. As Article 1, Section 107A states, all appointments to ASCSU executive and judicial positions shall be required to go through the Senate ratification process as defined by Article 2, Section 202A, subsection 3 of this Constitution. Therefore, intern positions are required to go through the Senate ratification process. This is supported by Article 1, Section 107B, which states that all positions must complete the Senate ratification process with the exception of ASCSU administrative assistant and front desk staff, which shall be considered non-ratified positions. Intern positions are not explicitly exempt from the Senate ratification process and they're therefore required to go through the process. Article 1, Section 104C says no office shall exist without an accompanying job description. So interns must have a job description as well. As Article 3, Section 304C states regarding the executive cabinet, all other departments or offices shall be subject to presidential power to create or destroy departments or offices. The ASCSU president has the power to create intern positions within the executive cabinet. The court highly recommends formal documentation. In a vote of 6-0, the Supreme Court has determined that a member of one branch may not serve as an intern of another branch unless serving in ex officio status. Intern positions are required to go through Senate ratification along with having a job description. The ASCSU president, speaker, and chief justice are highly encouraged to submit formal documentation of the creation of intern positions in the form of job descriptions and pass through Senate. Can I open it up for questions?
I will allow 10 minutes of Q&A starting with the first placard. Chair Welch, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
So this is kind of a question. So I'm guessing that the executive field, they're gonna have to make job description and they're gonna have to come through Senate. Then,
yes.
Do you think, okay, that's my question. Thank you. I just wanted to double check that. So you go next.
Chair Akey, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
I guess we can help with this. Has those positions for the meantime? There's no job, like,
Can I have it? Sorry, can you say that again?
does this pause, for want of a better word, those positions until there is a job description, until any of this happens? Also, I don't remember if we ratified them or not.
It doesn't pause the positions. It does require them to have a job description created and then go through the Senate ratification as soon as possible.
Okay, so everything continues as normal other than creating job descriptions also at the same time? Okay, cool, thank you.
Okay, you yield.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next senator or associate senator with a question, please raise your placard. Seeing none, then I'll end the discussion. I'll end Q&A.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay, with that, we will now move into our legislative officer reports. Hey, y'all, I hope everyone, excuse me.
Committee and caucus.
My apologies, I'm not doing it with me. Anyways, committee reports, starting with budgetary affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, y'all. I see some new faces in here and I wasn't here last week. So a little intro. My name's Lizzie Osterhow. I'm the chair of the Budgetary Affairs Committee. I use the she, her series pronouns. And we be having budgetary at Fridays at 3:10. Y'all should still show up at 3. The 3:10 is so we can transition and make sure technology is functioning. So y'all can get there at 3, but we'll still be setting up. Anyways, so what happened last week? We went through bylaws, job descriptions, but unfortunately, we had a little setback cease. Internal Affairs overwrote our edits of the bylaws. So we're starting over. It was lost. Miscommunication. It's okay, it's fine. But we're doing the bylaws over again. So that's my update. Come to committee Fridays at 3:10. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Internal affairs.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. Last week, internal continued to look at the Senate bylaws, and we were working to set a limit on how late Senate can traditionally go. So we will be continuing to look at these bylaws and we'll likely discharge them by the end of October and move on to the job descriptions, but I also keep making predictions and I am wrong. So please come to Internal Affairs Committee Fridays from 2 to 3 in the conference room. Thank you.
Okay, recognize Chair Welch, University Affairs Chair for 5 minutes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Evan Welch. I'm the chair of University Affairs, as Senator Speaker Hill said, so thank you. And so we have University Affairs on Thursdays from 4 to 5. Some of you new, you might not know that, but yep, that's for me. Right in the office, whatever that, I don't know what it's called, the thing right behind us. And so last week we looked over the job descriptions and we got that discharged, and I can make predictions in my committee, and I'm normally right. I do believe we'll be able to get through another piece of legislation this week, maybe even 2. And we have 2 pieces at the moment, but I won't be surprised if we get more given to us next week. Thank you, my time.
All right, with that, we'll go to our caucus reports. Chair Ritter for our Diversity and Inclusion Caucus.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mia. I am the chair for the Diversity and Inclusion Caucus. So my caucus will be having bi-weekly meetings from here on out. I did not get to have it last week, but we will be holding caucus this Friday at 1 p.m. in the conference room. So yeah, we don't really have too many things to talk about, but I guess we'll kind of see what happens when that time comes. So I encourage y'all to come, please. I encourage y'all to come very much. I'd love to see all your faces there. But yeah, it'll be in the conference room, 1 p.m. Friday. Be there, be square. Anyway, have a good night, y'all.
Chair recognizes Chair Morgan for Women's Caucus.
Okay. Hi, y'all. I'm Treasurer Morgan, she or hers. I'm the chair of Women's Caucus, as well as Associate Senator for the Native American Culture Center. And we meet on Thursdays at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And starting tomorrow, we will have bi-weekly meetings. So keep that in mind. But yeah, if you're free and you want to just have a conversation, feel free to come by. Thank you.
Point of order, can someone in the back close that door?
If someone could please close the door, that'd be great. Thank you. And personal privilege. Okay, with that, we'll now move to our legislative officer reports, starting with Speaker of the Senate. Hi, everyone. My name is Kyle Hill. I'm the Speaker of the Senate, he, him, his pronouns. I want to make a few announcements. Sorry, I was not, apologize for not being chairing last week. I was sick with an unfortunate cold, so I heard it was an eventful Senate session, so I'm glad it went well. Let's see what else is going on. I sent an email to everybody last week regarding my future meetings with President Joyce McConnell. If you have anything you would like to say to our university president, I will make sure to document it down and relay the message. This will be on behalf of all your constituents. Please reply to that email. I will give an opportunity every week. When I send the agenda, please reply to it to me, and I will make sure to document that when I give my report to our university president. Next one will be in the first week of December. So if you could give me that by then, that'd be great. So this is your chance to, on behalf of constituents, to say whatever, well, not whatever you want, but obviously if appropriate, but make sure you say what you want to say to our university president. I will be sure to relay the message as best as I can with formal written documentation. Secondly, make sure you turn in your office hours by Friday night at 11:59 p.m. We had last week many senators who you'll get emails soon. There have been a lot of senators who will receive a strike because due to missing of office hours. So if you get an email, please make note of it, and hopefully we can stop having to give out strikes. We do not want to do that. So make sure get your office hours in, attend at least one committee per week, and come to Senate unless you are excused, have a mental health day, either mental health day or whatnot, then those are the exceptions to the rule. Let's see, anything else? No, if you have any pieces of legislation, be sure to turn it in to me by our parliamentarian by 11:59 p.m. All right, with that, we'll move to our Speaker Pro Tempore. She is not here, so I will move to our parliamentarian.
Awesome. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Hi everyone. I'm pretty sure I've talked to pretty much everyone here. If you don't know me, I'm Jackson. I'm the parliamentarian. Like Kyle said, please send all legislation to me by Friday at 11:59. Yes, and then I had something else to say. If you guys need anything, if y'all need anything, feel free to reach out to me and I can help in any way I can if you need assistance. Formatting legislation, anything like that. Any questions you have, reach out to me, ASCSU parliamentarian. It's on the website as well. I apologize for how last week was. It was a very stressful meeting. So keep in mind that if you do need a break at any point during the semester, email Senate leadership, specifically Speaker Pro Tempore and Speaker Hill for absences, anything like that. Mental health is a priority. So those absences are excused within 24 hours, even just before the meeting. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, please email ASCSU parliamentarian.
Okay, Officer Torres Doxy.
Hi everyone. So for those in the space that don't know me, my name is Ben Torres Doxy. I'm the Officer of Recruitment and Retention. I also serve as the Senator for APAC. So I hope everyone in the space got the email from the front desk regarding tabling opportunities. So I set up 4 dates for tabling, October 15th, October 18th, October 20th, and October 22nd. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., basically from 10 to 2 p.m. on each of those days. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can sign up in the Google Sheet that's linked in the email. And it's a great way to fill out office/outreach hours. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, let me know. And feel free to email me. So yeah, thanks. I yield.
All right, thank you. With that, we will now move into our, let me pull up the agenda real quick, make sure I'm not. Okay. Okay, we'll go to Senator and Associate Senator reports. So we did it on the agenda, we have it a little differently. We now have it categorized by college. So if I call your college name, anyone who would like to speak within that college, please raise your placard. So we're going to start with the Adult Learner and Veteran Services, call the SDPS office. Is there any senator from the Adult Learner and Veteran Service you'll recognize?
Nothing to report.
Okay. With that, we have Asian Pacific American Cultural Center. Is there anything to report? The new center. Officer Torres Doxy.
No, I do not have anything to report.
Okay. For next list on the agenda, we have Black African American Cultural Center. Any senator or associate senator within that constituency may raise a placard at this time. Senator Brown.
Hi y'all, Josie Brown. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I just wanted to say thank you all for coming to the homecoming pageant on Sunday. Saw some familiar faces, so thank y'all.
The other senator from the AACC. All right, seeing none, College of Agricultural Sciences. Senator Moshe, I recognize you.
Hey y'all, if we haven't met, my name's Sam Moshe. I am one of the 2 agricultural senators, so good to meet you if you're new here. Few things. First off, the CSU Sustainability Fund. I wanted to make you guys aware of this thing where like you can propose a grant project if you're interested in really any sort of project that involves sustainability. I'll put the application thing out because it got extended by a week and a half. I was originally on that review committee. Please apply so we can give you money. Like, not saying that to make it seem like it's easy, but like it's kind of easy. If you have any sort of project involving sustainability you need money for, or you know anyone who does, spread the word on that. New application deadline is the 28th of October. If you have any questions about that, just come talk to me. As far as legislation goes, I am looking for folks who would be interested in working on a minimum wage related resolution. That's going to be a long and arduous process and something that we would love a ton of feedback on. Alex is going to be leading that with me, I think. Like most of him, maybe, I don't know, probably both. Yeah, so please jump in on that. I had one other thing, but my brain went blank, so I'm going to pass that off. Thanks, guys.
All right. Any other senator from College of Ag Sciences? All right, College of Business.
Nothing to report.
Okay, we'll do College of College of Health and Human Services.
Nothing to report.
Okay, College of Liberal Arts.
Nothing to report.
All right, College of Natural Sciences. Okay, College of Veterinary Medicine, Biomedical Sciences. Senator Silverheart, the chair recognizes you for comments.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Silverheart, and I use the pronouns he, him, his. I have some updates on things that I have been working on as a senator. Today, I had a meeting with Director of Health, Casada Stone, and Director of Health, Education and Prevention of the Health Network, Christina Berg. We talked about STI testing. I know they have a week in spring where STI testing for chlamydia and gonorrhea only costs $20, and we're talking about extending that into fall as well. And then talking about general marketing and making use of communications already in place to get information out regarding the things that are going on through the health network. Tomorrow I have a meeting with Premedica to make a possible partnership for quarterly blood drives. They had a blood drive at the beginning of the semester, but marketing was scarce, and blood drives are something that are very important to me. So I think it would be a cool partnership. We have a lot to offer in terms of marketing, incentivizing, and there's also a benefit for us in terms of getting our name out. And in my personal opinion, I would like to get this at the same level as other events on campus, such as like cans around the oval. We could call it blood around with Raiden Hall. Little play on words. I had to look up a CSU map to find a building that was starting with the letter B, and that was the only one I found, unfortunately. And then lastly, just to echo what Senator Moshe had to say, I'm very interested in this minimum wage resolution and have been for the past few weeks. So anybody else interested, we are going to start drafting this week and next. Thank you. I give my time.
Okay, any other senator, associate senator from College of CVMBS? Senator Muffitt.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
All right, El Centro. Can you please hold your placard so I can, this way? Senator Caracciero?
That's good enough. So El Centro is, sorry, I'm yelling. El Centro is having financial aid office hours, which are open to everyone. Sometimes people don't know where the Office of Financial Aid is, or our person, I don't know what to call her. She's really nice, really personable. So if you just want to come in and say hi to her if you have any questions. And then me personally, I am working on doing an Instagram takeover for El Centro. So tune into that if you want to see me throughout my day.
Senator Villas, no, sorry. Senator Rosales Garcia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Victor. I use he, him, his, or they, them, theirs pronouns. And this Friday marks the end of Latinx/Hispanic Heritage Month. And as a openly gay, partially non-binary man of Mexican descent, I would just like to remind everyone to recognize the positive contributions that the Latinx community has done for our country, and please continue to educate yourselves and treat members of the Latinx community with respect. Thank you.
All right, first generation collective board.
I am on Zoom.
Senator Wall.
All right, I have my camera on. I don't know. Can y'all see me? Okay, hello. I apologize for this. Anyway, I am Elijah Sandoval. I am the senator for the First Generation Board, and I have a few updates. I just need to pull them up here. So I am working with Deputy Director Hendricks on some first generation initiatives. She is talking with a few people around campus. So I just need to get caught up with her on that. And then I met with Demetros and Christian, I'm sorry, President Dixon knows his full name. I am very bad with names. But we met last week to talk about things that impact first gen students and things that we could do on campus. And then on a personal note, I have been asked to serve as part of the student panel for the TRIO Visit Day. And what that is it's a bunch of TRIO students coming around from Colorado to visit our campus. And this panel is to just give perspective on what it's like to be a student here at CSU, and as well as what it is like to be a first generation student and some of the things that we offer. So that's really awesome. I'm very honored to be a part of that. 2 other students are a part of that as well. And then on a personal note, I just want to say thank you to everybody who celebrated my birthday yesterday, yesterday. I am going to be working with marketing and President Dixon on getting everybody's birthdays together and kind of doing a little something for everybody, because while I do appreciate being loved and celebrated, I know that I'm not the only person who has a birthday up until this point, and I want to make sure that we are loving and celebrating everybody. So that is it for me. Thank you all, and I shall see y'all on Friday.
As just a reminder, making reports to you for the sake of time, keep it related to your constituency, what you're doing for a college. Thank you. Okay. International programs.
Graduate council.
Sorry, graduate council. Okay, nothing, seeing none. International programs. Senator Correa.
Hello, everyone. Senator Correa here. I would like to talk to you guys about a meeting that me, Deputy Director Vyas, and Director Benton had with Mary Strombaum. It was in relation to break housing, and I was a part of it, and I'm also announcing this because a lot of international students are directly affected by break housing. So for a student to live in the dorms during the breaks, they have to pay about $40 every single day, which is very expensive. $20 for housing and $20 go into RAM cash. We in that meeting tried to make the $20 RAM cash option optional and not forced down students so that they can choose if they want to go out and get groceries on their own, which is going to be much cheaper for them. So we got a reply from her today in which she said that the only changes that they're going to make is they're going to not have the express open and have the entire dining center open, but students would still have to pay the extra additional $20 and they will not have an option on that. We'll still try to make some changes, have a conversation with her. The only reason I'm bringing this forward is that some students, international students, and I believe also students, Native American students are affected by this. The $20 surcharge deters students from seeking housing during the breaks. So we'll still continue and try to ensure that housing removes the $20 RAM cash charge. Thank you.
Do you yield?
Yes.
All right. I recognize the senators or associate senators from Native American Cultural Center. Associate Senator Quintana, recognize you.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Mathis Quintana. Monday was Indigenous Peoples Day, so if you stopped by, there were some people set up in the over here. I don't know what's called, but plaza. But so thank you for whoever stopped by, and then look out for events coming up for November, Native American Heritage Month. Thank you.
Is there any other member of NACC in Native American Cultural Center wishing to speak? Chair Estrada, recognize you for 5
I'm
minutes.
sorry, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was
Okay.
gonna joke, be like NACC.
No joke.
NACC, it's not NAC.
Okay, sorry. Pride Resource Center. Three members from Pride Resource Center wishing to speak. Okay, seeing none. Student Disability Center. Chair AP.
Just really quick, I'm very excited because we ratified the second senator for the Student Disability Center this evening. He's left now, but next time you see him, please say hi because I'm very excited that he's here. Thank you.
Walter Scott Jr., College of Engineering. Senator Pyfrom, I recognize you.
Hey, all. Hey, just want to sit there and say thank you for those who stopped by. Engineering did its first tailgate. It's the first time a school has ever done that. So that was fantastic. Thanks to all who did. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Warner College Natural Resources. Senator Deason.
Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Hayden Deason. I use a she series of pronouns. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what Senator Shearer, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, and I are working on. Currently, we're working on an ornithology bill. Essentially, this student, Talia Sarfati, came to us about how a lot of the windows are basically too shiny and birds are running into them and it's killing birds. She had a wonderful proposal of getting these UV spectrum stickers that we could put in the windows that are essentially invisible to us that would deter birds. We started working a lot on that. It's started to become a lot bigger of a project than we initially anticipated, but we've met with lots of faculty, we've gathered lots of information, and it's coming along really nicely. If anybody is interested in collaborating on that, I think it's an excellent bill for sustainability and just human wildlife relations, etc.
let me know or let Senator Shearer know. Thank you. I yield my time.
All right, and lastly, the Women and Gender Advocacy Center. All right, seeing none, we'll now move to conference business. Will the parliamentarian please put 2 hours on the conference clock? Okay, we have no new business, so no new introduction of legislation, but we have old business. Conference clock placed. Yes. All right, with that order, we will begin with resolution 5102, ranked choice voting. Parliamentarian, please read the abstract.
Yeah, 1 second. Resolution 5102, endorsement of ranked choice voting. This resolution affirms the ASCSU approves of ranked choice voting, RCV, for executive elections. If passed, the RCV working group will move forward with the technological systems necessary to realize a functional election system before March of 2022. Let's see. Yeah.
All right, since this is old business, it has already been presented. We will now move immediately to 30 minutes of discussion.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Point of. Point of order. There were changes made in committee. So.
Oh, my apologies.
Present those.
Sorry, I am very tired today. Okay. Will the committee chairs please come and present their changes?
Yes.
Which is, I believe, just University Affairs.
Yes. There.
Yeah, they're on here.
So the first change we made was we endorsed it as University Affairs Committee, as you can see by the blue lettering. So the University Affairs, we discharged it and we also endorsed it. And there should be one other thing. And that is that we just changed how it's read, so I'm just going to read it. So number 4 now says, the ballots of the voters whose candidates have been eliminated will be recounted. If a voter's number 1 choice was eliminated, they can't, okay.
That covers the change.
Okay, yeah, that was the one change. And I'm pretty sure that was it, just to help clarify what was trying to be said.
Is there an author in the chamber who wishes to accept or deny these changes? Seeing none, so we're gonna have to, I believe, vote on this as the Senate on these changes, since there is no author present. Okay, so on this change, for those in favor, please raise your placards.
Yeah.
For all those opposed, please raise your placards. Or are you 3 opposed? And all those abstaining, please raise your placards.
Hold on 1 second, please. It's 27 to 1 to 0.
On a vote of 27 to 1 to 0, the change has been made and approved. All right, with that, we'll now begin 30 minutes of discussion and debate on this piece of legislation, starting with the first placard.
I have personal privilege. Can the chatting in the Senate please not happen?
Yes, if please keep side conversations to a minimum, and if you need to talk, please go outside and do so. Thank you. Senator Caracel.
That was really good. What, I guess, platform out of just pure curiosity would be used if, like, choice voting was implemented.
This is a time for discussion, debate, not Q and A, but if you wish to ask an author or anyone about this, yield, you may do so. Chair Welch, you yield to, so when you can yield, someone you can say, I yield to Chair Welch, or yield to Senator Glassman.
I yield to whichever.
Chair Welch.
Okay. So basically what's going to be happening is, so during the ASCSU elections, we vote online through RailWeb. And so this year, there's I forget what it's called, but the organization, we're gonna ask them, I think it's called Acadia or Attica. They're going to create a program that'll make it so when you vote online, it's going to be ranked choice voting for the president and for the speaker. That's all this is doing, and I give my time if I answered the question.
It's on my second day.
That's
You're good, you're good, appreciate it.
I yield to.
Okay. Chair, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, that actually sparked more questions for me, because one, is a resolution, which is usually just like, we as the Senate endorse that we want to do ranked choice voting, not actually making a change. So was that written in there? Did I miss that part?
So this was done to make it so we want ranked choice voting to happen, and it's gonna be done through Attica.
Okay, so that's like the next step after.
That's the next step. Basically, I was trying to explain that. Once we say yes, we're gonna be doing it through Attica. But I was just trying to explain the process of what's going to happen. But no, this resolution is just saying, hey, can we try to do this through Attica? Like that's more of just saying, hey, we support trying to do ranked choice voting for our elections.
Thank you, I yield.
Senator Pfeiffer, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Point of information, or actually, I'll just ask it this way. Given that it is a resolution, it's going to come back to us to vote on, correct? And I will yield to Chair Walsh.
So more of this is this. So I don't think we have to ever, so basically the voting process, I'm pretty sure it's never explained how we need to do it, because my bylaws, I can vote, I can make the voting process happen no matter what. That's more of a question, maybe the election manager will later know. Our resolution is just saying, hey, we support ranked choice voting, and we'll see what happens. And like, if you say yes, you're saying, hey, let's try ranked choice voting, but if you say no, that's saying with not try, don't know enough information.
Okay, that will be the last question. This is for discussion debate. If anybody wants to motion to open 10 minutes of Q&A to further inquire on this, you may, but for further line of speaking will be only exclusively to discussion debate after this.
Point of order, there's no author present, so I'm not sure who.
Point of order, we do have a author present. Chief of Staff?
It's not that one.
No, I'm not actually an author, and I can still answer.
Okay,
questions,
sorry.
But I'm not.
My apologies. I thought you were not. Okay, so I will entertain a motion for 10 minutes of Q&A if anyone has more questions. But discussion debate will only be reserved for discussion debate. Senator Pfeiffer.
Okay, so point of order, and this is the same question because I don't know that that was answered. Is this something that is going to come back to us, yes or no?
Would you like to yield to anybody to answer that question?
Officer Torsaxi.
Officer Torsaxi.
Yeah, so it won't come back to us because we're voting on it. We're voting on the resolution tonight. So does that answer your question, or?
I believe I can put some input if this is all right. This is just a resolution saying we support it. If we were to make this permanent change, it would be a constitutional lex, I believe, since this is something related to our voting kind of. And so in that way, in a different form, it would, if we were to do it, go back to us, I believe, if it has to do with the Constitution. And I'm going to yield to Chief of Staff Ryder.
Hi, so I think the fastest way to answer this question is it will come back eventually, because ideally I think the path that's going to be taken is y'all pass the resolution, we're like, we like endorse ranked choice voting, we move forward with it. Attica designs the program, it like takes a very long time. They like move forward with all of that in the way that
like Evan phrased it. And then ideally the elections code will be updated, and then I believe you all would vote on that after the elections manager is hired, but because they're not hired yet, that won't like be into play until that, so that's the next time you'll see it ideally, because I hopefully that gives some clarification.
Do you have that?
Yes, thank you.
Just for point of clarification further, when you yield to someone, you say I yield to senator or chair, whatever this is this, the person will say it's status his or her their piece. And then they'll have to wait to say I yield back. The person will yield back, then the person who did the initial yield can continue or yield themselves. That is the procedure. Just putting that out there. All right. Yeah, any other, and then from now on, we're going to do discussion debate only. Is there any other senator or associate senator member wishing to have a discussion debate on this piece of legislation? Senator Baum, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
And motion, previous question.
Motion has been made for previous question. Is it seconded? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. You guys have it. Motion previous question has been made and ordered. We will now vote on, through a roll call vote. Chair Athey.
Counter for unanimous consent.
Motion for unanimous consent. Is there any objection? Yes. Objection has been made. Therefore, with the objection made, we will now move by roll call vote. Through roll call vote, we will state the name, the college, and please say aye or nay, and then we'll repeat the senator and then college.
My word, just get it up. Can you just say the name?
The reason why I'm doing the college is so we can let the constituents know which college name. That's what I would do, if that's what I am. Transparency's sake. Okay, Associate Senator Tech Cassidy. Oh, I'll just be doing Senator Associates because I don't have the call.
Okay. Are you keeping track? Because I don't have a list of the names. So are you keeping track of the roll?
Point of order, associates can't vote.
No. Okay, Senator Silverheart, College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences.
I vote yes.
Senator Silverheart, aye. Let's keep side conversations in the room, please. Thank you. Chair Athey, Student Disability Center.
Aye.
Chair Athey, aye. Senator Shepherd, College of Liberal Arts.
Aye.
Senator Shepherd, aye. Chair Torres Doxy, APAC.
Aye.
Chair Torres Doxy, aye. Senator Baum, College of Business.
Aye.
Senator Baum, aye. Chair Welch, College of Liberal Arts.
Aye.
Chair Welch, aye. Senator Deason, College of Natural Sciences. Natural Resources.
Absolutely. Not in the chamber.
Senator Nybert, College of Liberal Arts.
Aye.
Senator Nybert, aye. Senator Brown, Black African American Cultural Center.
Aye.
Senator Brown, aye. Chair Osterhout, Native American Cultural Center.
Can I vote in her place? Or no?
Yes, you can say Associate Senator for.
Associate Senator for the Native American Cultural Center. Aye.
Okay. Associate Senator Quintana, aye. Senator Scherer, Chair Ritter, Native American Cultural Center.
Aye.
Chair Ritter, aye. Senator Pyfrom, College of Engineering.
Nay.
Senator Pyfrom, nay. Senator Moshe, College of Agricultural Sciences.
Aye.
Senator Nosha, aye. Senator May, College of Liberal Arts.
Aye.
Senator May, aye. Senator Tennyson, College of Agricultural Sciences. Senator Tennyson, College of Agricultural Sciences.
It's gonna be abstention with no answer.
Abstain. Chair Morgan, oh, sorry, my apologies. Associate Senator. Senator Rosales Garcia, El Centro.
Can I vote in this case?
Since you are a senator, you may, are you a senator or associate senator?
I'm a senator.
Since you are a senator, you only count as your own vote. Senator Correa, international students.
Aye.
Senator Correa, aye. Senator Martyr, adult learner veteran services. Graduate council, my apologies.
No answer.
Okay. Senator Long, College of Business.
Not present.
Okay. Senator Sandoval.
Aye.
Senator Sandoval, aye. Senator Mumford, College of Veterinary Medicine, Biomedical Sciences.
Aye.
Senator Mumford, aye. Senator Trout, College of Liberal Arts.
Aye.
Trout, aye. Senator Kramer, if I'm not mistaken, College of Liberal Arts. Health and Human Services, my apologies.
Sciences, sorry. Aye.
Senator Kramer, College of Health and Human Sciences, aye. Senator Caracero, El Centro.
Aye.
Senator Caracero, aye. Senator Bailado, Adult Learner and Veteran Services.
Aye.
Senator Bailado, aye. Senator Williamson, Pride Resource Center.
They're not sorry. Williams, no, they're not.
All right. Is there any senator or associate senator who wish I have not called on?
Mr. Speaker, you did not call Tucker Anthony, the senator for the ALVS.
Senator Anthony, Adult Learner and Veteran Services.
Aye.
Anthony, aye. Senator Burge, College of Business.
Abstain.
Senator Burge, abstain. Is there any other member who wish I had not yet called on? On this vote, the yeas are 19, the nays are 1, abstaining present is 1. Resolution 5102 passes. All right, we will have one more piece of old business. Parliamentarian, please read the abstract.
Bill 5103, maximizing ASCSU's potential with business and nonprofit community. This bill seeks to revise the 2021 to 2022 ASCSU executive job descriptions to introduce a new position, ASCSU Business and Community Liaison, on page 28. There has also been changes made by committees. I will read those.
Will the chairs of the committees please come up and present the changes?
Point of order, so, yeah, okay, point of order, so because it's a conference plan report,
Okay,
parliamentarian does it, then the reason chair opted it was because it was only.
thank you.
Also, should we call? One question, should we call the author down?
Will the author of this bill, of Bill 51?
Point of order, I'm going to give the conference committee report first, and then after the author.
The conference committee report will go first, and the author may present or may come forward. Conference committee report may go.
Yes, one second. I'm trying to find the first set of changes here. Let's see. Okay, sweet. All right, so these changes were made by budgetary affairs. The first one is to remove this sentence here. Will act as volunteer coordinator to organize ASCSU attendance at all community and service events. And the second change in this was also to change administration here. I believe there was a typo. So change to administration within Colorado State University, removing the administration word there. And then into the new job, there were changes by internal affairs as well as budgetary. So I'll go through the internal affairs changes first. Here it was inserted to attend at least one Senate session per month and this is the job description for the business and community liaison. This was made by budgetary affairs, and then there were some grammatical changes made, including inserting by, removing the and changing fee to fees. And then the rest of the changes were made by budgetary affairs. So going back up to the top, budgetary affairs removed adhere to policies of CSU and ASCSU relating to diversity and inclusion, and replaced it with follow all university and ASCSU guidelines, including diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Also changed, inserted relevant here. Managed notion and or was included by budgetary affairs. Removed the I, removed an or, added an or and a comma, and then added student diversity and program services. Inserted while also maintaining a working collaborative relationship with the food security specialist. Finally, removed attend the mandatory ASCSU executive cabinet leadership retreat. And I believe that is all.
All right, does the author accept these changes?
I do, thank you.
Okay, the authors accept these changes. So therefore we will move to 30 minutes of discussion debate on Bill, I believe 5103 or 2.
Sorry. One thing is that, and point of order, also internal affairs removed the highlight from the word vice. On everything.
Does the author accept that change? Yes. Okay. And the name of the bill? What's the name of the number, the bill number?
5103.
5103. All right, we will now open 30 minutes discussion debate on Bill 5103, starting with the first placard. Seeing none. Does the author have any? Since now discussion debate is ended, we'll now begin voting.
I'm gonna motion for unanimous consent on this one too. Hoping there's no dissent.
Is there any objection? Without objection, Bill 5103 passes on a vote of unanimous, but we have to get the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On a vote of 19 to 0, 19.
There's 4 voting members on Zoom.
On a vote on this vote, the yeas are 23 unanimous, the nays are 0, the abstaining is 0. Bill 5103 passes to the president's signature.
Speaker, if I could real quick, just want to say thank you all. Really appreciate the conversations we had in committee. This will be out and open tomorrow afternoon. We'll drop more details, so I'll follow up in the morning answering a couple questions. Who will be serving on the interview committee? I'm going to clarify that, as well as the timeline for the process, our outreach strategy, and who we're intending to reach out to, which will be everyone, obviously. If you know anyone who's interested in applying, I'd encourage you to send their name our way. And we'll also release the applications to our community so that you all can weigh in during the process. Back to you.
Thank you. With that, we have passed a piece of legislation. Parliamentarian, please send this piece of legislation to President Dixon for his signature or veto. Thank you. All right, that concludes our confidence business. We have ended legislation. All right, well, I believe now we move on to announcements. Is there any announcements? Officer Torres Doxy, Chair recognizes you.
Yes, hi everyone. So tomorrow, APAC has movie night in LSC room 333. And the movie will be Three Idiots. And there'll be snacks. And that's at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Parliamentarian Hunter.
Hi, everyone. So this meeting was obviously a lot shorter than the last one, but I just wanted to say, let's see, sorry. I just wanted to say, I think it's really important that we all keep in our minds, especially as we're going through this semester, the amount of time that we're using in this space. I think it's really easy to kind of get carried away with, you know, what we're saying, and I'm trying not to do that right now, but it takes up a lot of time. And as we try to move on with our agenda and the stuff we have to get done, there's a lot of things I think we can do, and I will try to start working towards implementing in this space that can make time move a lot quicker, as well as be more respectful to y'all, because in this space, we're a student organization, but we're all students first. And I really think that as we move forward, just keep in the back of your mind how much space you're taking up with your voice. If you leave today with anything, and it's that, I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all have been great this semester so far, but I think we can all do a little bit better. So I yield my time.
Parliamentarian yielded his time. Senator Silverheart. Okay, any other member wishes to make an announcement? Seeing none, move to our fight song.
Motion to skip the fight song.
It's been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I will now adjourn the meeting.
Pending roll call.
Oh, ending roll. Oh, we already did.